Hey everyone, I am Filip Grabowski and I'm the founder of Mensoy. Today I'll be answering multiple questions for you guys that, looking at the questions, are interesting. If I wrap a Lamborghini, could renting a helicopter, could that cost you jail time or pay Snoop Dogg, Mr. D-O-W-G? And I'll be answering these questions for you as a marketing expert and hopefully give you a lot of valid advice on what you should do. Now, if you don't know, I run a creative marketing agency called Mensoy, where we help tech startups and scale-ups create incredible human, out-of-the-box, awesome video-led content, podcasts, and I also help advise on the strategy, the go-to-market, and building the top of funnel. If you're already here, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and leave a comment, and let's get into the first question. And the first question is, I just launched a tiny tech startup. How do I get my first 10 paying customers without burning cash on ads? Very good question. Getting your first initial customer is actually extremely difficult. Now, there is two things you need to know here. The first one is you cannot be scared to cold message people. A lot of people make the mistake that they think they're going to message like 10, 20 people and that's enough. And they don't get a reply and suddenly they're like, oh, where's my replies? Message 1,000 people. That's what you have to be doing. Message 2,000 people. Get 2 or 3 replies. That is success. You're looking at numbers that are too small. It does require a lot of effort. And each one should be personal, each one should be tailored, and you're gonna spend hours of your day doing it. But you'll get the first customer. Someone will finally say yes. And with that first customer, you hopefully will get recommendations if your work is good, and the recommendations will trickle. The other thing you have to understand is networking is extremely important. I think being recommended by someone is 10 times more powerful than cold emailing and hoping that someone will, reply or show interest. A recommendation is powerful. Reach out to your network, reach out to everyone you know, and ask them that if an opportunity comes up for them to recommend you or say a nice word, or potentially if they already know someone or might be working at a different company, to recommend you internally. It does wonders. This is how I got most of my initial customers. How do I know if my product pitch makes sense to engineers? Very interesting question. First of all, you have to understand that a lot of products in marketing, they have marketing teams. And a lot of the time, the problem is that these marketing teams, they don't understand the product as an engineer would. The other issue is that a lot of companies that work with the product on a daily basis, they are so familiar with the product that for them, they think they're throwing out a good marketing campaign, but suddenly it's actually not because nobody understands it apart from them. They looked at it from the angle of their understanding and their familiarity, but not from the shoes of someone who never heard of the product, is coming in and suddenly wants to understand it. It's very important to pitch the way as if you've never approached a company before. You don't know what they do, and you have to explain it in such a way that just makes sense. And that's very hard to do. Putting yourself in engineering shoes, especially to market your product, requires skill, it requires trial and error, and most importantly, it requires a lot of patience because you're not going to be winning with one campaign. Make 10 or 20 of them, and maybe one of them will be successful. That's just the beauty of marketing. All right, next question. For a new SaaS, is it smarter to double down on SEO or flat social media with content? I think in general, you should be doing both. But I think currently, because social media is such a powerful platform, you can create a very interesting content engine. And the best content engine is made with, I think, podcasts. Let me tell you why, very quickly. You create a podcast, you invite some interesting guest. That guest already could be someone from your company initially, but later on it could be a reputable guest that says reputable things. And that guest appearing on your podcast gives you credit. It makes you stand higher in the industry. Also, on top of that, podcasts not only allow you to film video podcasts and audio podcasts, so suddenly you're covering like 6, 7 platforms, but they also allow you to repurpose and redistribute that content on different platforms, LinkedIn, Reddit, and so on and so forth. And then you can run potentially some ads. But in this case, I would mostly double down on repurposing content from a podcast and do a podcast initially. Show that you are the leader in the space. And I think to show your authority in the space is extremely important to build your reputation and to build trust. And then when you do repurpose the content, do some SEO. I think GPT, any kind of AI will guide you to the right set of keywords and the right set of vocabulary to use to improve SEO. And I think organically that will work really well already. But of course, you can always boost it with ads on different types of platforms. Next question. Do demo videos actually convert, or are they corporate vanity projects? Now, previously I worked at a company where we did a lot of demos. I think a demo is the most important thing to show when you jump on with a customer, especially if your product can have a demo, to show them the instant value. I think instant value in this case is extremely important. Showing instant value to a customer will get you a very quick interest and a very quick conversion. But you have to remember that it's not just showing off your product and what it does. You have to make sure that you strategically plan who that demo video is for. They reached out because they have an issue. You know what their issue is. The real power here is tailoring the demo to your customer. Once you do that, they will resonate. They're gonna be like, oh yes, these guys know what they're talking about. And you will probably get much more of their interest. What you're doing here is you're touching on their problem, and as soon as they resonate, their interest will spike. Next question. If you could choose only one, would you rather sponsor the next big tech podcast or pay Snoop Dogg to tweet about your API once? I assume the price would be the same. Let's assume that. This is an interesting one because I feel like Snoop Dogg would have a lot of people looking at it, but probably a lot of his audience would not be techie. And again, I'm promoting a tech product. So the question is, do I want to narrow it down to a smaller audience, but more relevant? Or do I kind of want to take it viral and have people ask why the fuck Snoop Dogg was tweeting about a tech company? I think I'd take the risk and pick Snoop Dogg. I reckon that has a chance of going viral, and viral content, if you know how to capture it and play on it and extend it. Mr. DOGG is my pick. Next question. Would a marketing campaign for a dev tool work if it looked like a Marvel movie trailer? Yes, it would. And I have actually done it. In my previous company, Permit, we did a product hunt launch, and as part of the launch video, what I did is I repurposed Fast and Furious. I took scenes of the movie. It was a scene where they put the security guard's face on the face detector. And what I did is I chopped this up and I clipped in scenes of myself, like speaking to them. And I made it almost like a one-way conversation. I will put the link down in the description, and you're probably actually seeing it right now as I'm talking over it. And the idea here was to use something that people resonate with and show it as part of a solution that we're currently solving at the company and how it just works and that it's us and not them. And yes, it did really, really well. It actually did so well that it gave us product hunt of the day. So we were the best product of the day. And also there was a large amount of really positive comments on the actual video. So I think I did well there. If I wrap a Lamborghini with my startup logo, is that guerrilla marketing genius or just a cry for help? First of all, I think if you're already driving a Lamborghini, you're probably doing something right. A lot of people focus on a Lamborghini when they see it, so probably putting your startup logo on it would make sense. In fact, I know a lot about this because I once wrapped my car lime green with my previous company's logo and domain on it, and it worked like magic. I actually made a whole video about it, so you can check it out here or here. I have done it before, and it worked very, very well. So if you have that capability, you should do it. Has anyone actually closed an enterprise deal because of a meme? Very good question. Memes are very good in the developer community. I think a lot of people like to look at memes. There is a whole subreddit called Programmer Humor. And I can say for a fact that at the previous company, we did experiment with memes and we posted memes on Programmer Humor and they got like 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 like upvotes on Reddit. And we had our little domain at the bottom and it did drive conversions to the website. It did actually work. So I suppose that is definitely possible. Yes, I'm sure you can get a client through a meme. Yeah, that will work in today's world, absolutely. As long as the meme is good, of course, and not some trash. All right, and the last question. Could renting a helicopter to drop QR codes over San Francisco actually beat a year of LinkedIn lead generation? Oh my God, where do you guys come up with these questions? Okay, renting a helicopter is probably quite an expense, but probably doable for a company. Printing QR codes, I don't think it will affect them at all. Dropping them over San Francisco from a helicopter is probably 1, illegal, 2, will get you arrested and put in court, and whatever other consequences follow, I don't know. But then again, lead generation could cost you quite a lot. I feel like if you drop QR codes in San Francisco, people probably wouldn't pick them up because it will feel like it's rubbish unless it's like falling out of the sky and people, you know, those movie scenes where like money is falling out and people are catching it. Maybe a similar thing would happen here. I can tell you what will happen for a fact. You will definitely be featured on the news because someone will say that a psychopath is doing crazy ass marketing. Could that cost you jail time? Probably, unless someone can bail you out. Could it be cheaper if you were to go viral than a year of LinkedIn gen? Probably. If you are a psychopath and you have too much money, really large balls, and a lot of free time, do the helicopter. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed this quick Q&A. Let me know if you have any other questions. Drop them down below. I'm always happy to answer unhinged marketing questions, as well as the ones that are actually useful, unless you own a Lamborghini or have a helicopter. And I think I will see you in the next time. So make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment on this video. And I'll see you in the next marketing Q&A.